Dr. Prakash S., Senior Vice President, East Point Group of Institution, who will be speaking on the topic Artificial Intelligence in Education. Dr. Prakash S. is associated with East Point family from past 15 years at different capacity in leadership team at EPCET. Recently, he joined us back as Senior Vice President, EPGI. He worked as Vice President at Mohan Babu University, Executive Director at Chandra University. He was past chairman of Computer Society of India, Bangalore chapter, and was member of KCCI, Karnataka Chamber of Commerce, Department of IT-BT. Dr. Prakash has 27 years of experience in training and development, education management, IT infrastructure management, both in academia and in IT training industry. He was instrumental in bridging industry and academia at CSI. He was chief editor for CSI Adyan magazine for the year 2017-18. Dr. Prakash is recipient of the following awards: Outstanding Educationist for the contribution in technical training of youth of Karnataka, conferred by the ICON Indian Business Awards 2019, supported by Z Business Media on 24th November 2019. Best Educator Award from Salesforce, world's #1 CRM company. VMware Educator Excellence Award from VMware Incorporation. He is recipient of EMC Academic Excellence Award for his 5 years of consistent service in evangelizing third platform technologies like cloud computing, big data, and Internet of Things. He has delivered talks at many faculty development programs and chaired as a deviator in many technical conferences. He regularly conducts training programs for Manipal Global University for industry professionals, both online and offline. He is Board of Studies, Board of Examiner member for CSE department at different autonomous institutions. He was career advisor at LinkedIn platform. His research area is on mobile communication, cloud computing, and big data. He has published many papers in international journals and conferences. One of his research papers got awarded as the best paper in an IEEE international conference. He worked with NIIT Limited at early part of his career and delivered many IT training programs for students and corporate professionals. Dr. Prakash has obtained a BE MTech in Computer Science Engineering and a PhD degree in Computer Science on the topic 4G wireless communications. He also has executive PGDM for his credit. It's a great pleasure to have him with us today. I welcome you, sir. May I request our principal, Dr. Janet Mary Coates, to felicitate our keynote speaker. Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam. Over to the keynote speaker.
Is this the correct position? Thank you. So, before I make it up, I want to take out around how exactly education system evolved and how it is going to evolve in next future after the revolution of OpenAI and GenAI. So anyway, I'll not go through this. How was education 4.0? I will start up with people always feel that the best of the best universities are there in Europe. It could be Harvard, it could be Stanford, all this Tom Ivy League universities. We usually call it as Ivy League universities. The league of universities, Ivy League is different. And many students aspire that I want to go and do my masters in Ivy League universities. This is the trend. Every engineering, I want to get into these universities. I want to just put across what exactly changed. I think it is not that Indian education system loopholes in the system. So, and Europe need to dictate us what is the education system is all about. It's all nonsense. Let me tell you exactly. If I see the, if you go back and see the world's first university that was there in Takshashila and Nalanda University. Okay. This was a time where students used to go to gurukuls and study with every capable gurus. Okay. It was basically student centric and not highly scalable system. We had the opportunity to learn from the leading group. How many people really know about Nalanda University here? You heard about Nalanda University? That means one of the Chinese monk writes in his book, it's been recorded. He told that the people who want to take admission in Nalanda University has supposed to undergo a crash course and come to the Nalanda University. That was a tough competition to get into Nalanda University. So, and in fact, anyway, I keep on telling about this story about Nalanda University, and many times I openly told this. Uh, Being in a patriotic Indian, I always felt that Nalanda University had a very amazing stories behind it. Since Nalanda University is there, I want to tell you. Uh, all the research of medical research was scripted and documented in the Nalanda University. They were very rich. In fact, I want to tell you, so much of innovations and scientific research was done from Indians at that moment, where people used to actually look for their patenting and copyrights. And it was all recorded and archived in Nalanda University. We found zero. If zero was not there, it would have been there. We found binary system. Binary system is not there. Should have been not invented today. Zero and ones. My first Fibonacci series was done by us. Fibonacci series. If Fibonacci series is not, no more algorithms would have been invented. We were the first to predict sun correct 365.55. We were the first to correct. The first plastic surgery was done by us. Like this, there are plenty of examples. Plenty of examples. Many people even don't know. Many people even don't know that we have created so much of knowledge base where people were scared. And not only in the medical sector, we started innovating a lot of even physics and science. This was the history of Nalanda University. Very unfortunately, these were all the products that all came from Nalanda all these innovations came. Now, people, if you go back and see a lot of temples today, there is a science involved in that. I keep on giving this example since I come from this place called as Hampi. People know about Hampi? Heard about this place called as Hampi? I was born and brought up in a place called as Hospet near Hampi. My complete schooling days, I used to go there and walk around all the places. Many people didn't understand from the technology per se how was actually Hampi. In a very less span of time, how did Krishna Deva Raya build a developed model? We call it as Viksit Bharat. It was actually Viksit Vijayanagara at that. It was a great history about us. I'm telling about how the education system is evolving. So much of technology advancements were there. You go to, there is something called as Queen's Path. I gave this example many times, but still I'll give it. People know about Queen's Path. People think that actually the Krishna Deva Raya built this for his wife, where Queen can go and take the bath. And there's a lot of diamonds situated in the walls. People only look from that perspective. But the reality, what is the technology part of this is that the water that comes from the swimming pool is not a standstill water. The water which stays. It's a flowing water. It's a flowing water. That means the rate of flow of inflow of the water and the rate of outflow is equivalent. It appears as a standstill. This is common physics. And it was built at that, and there was filters at that moment with stone carved dots. Filter water should come. Okay, and at all 3-4 stages you get filtered, and all pure water is to come. And it is not a standstill water. So water is to flow, but still there was a water. And where does the water is to come? Water is to come from a place called as around 8 to 10 kilometers, place called as Kamalapur, where there are lakes. And now people are speaking about integrating of the lakes. Krishna Deva had done the integration of the lakes long back. All the lakes which are surrounding around, that meant he wanted all the water distribution system should come to the taps of the people through all these lakes. Till people are astonished how was the water distribution in Vijayanagara. People don't know. At that moment, it was done through stone. There was no invention of cement. There was no invention of plastic. There was no invention of iron at that moment. That was rich Bharat. What happened? And all this was scripted in Nalanda universities about all these innovations. How Cholas built temples, how Cholas actually had some development. Okay, how Vijayanagara dynasty has this empire. Unfortunately, this was all actually captured and documented. Either it could be any of the development innovations that happened was documented in Nalanda University. And Chinese monk writes that in the 13th floor of the Nalanda University, it's been recorded. The 13th floor of the Nalanda University, lot of medical innovations were there, and it was lit to fire because of one small ego of one called as Bhartiya Khilji. People know about this story. You know what is this story all about? Someone ask them, what is this story all about? And I want to tell how innovations and how actually education system was there and how we have evolved.
Took the king took medications from all the fields. Since he researched, he went across many doctors, many Ayurvedic medicines. Then one of his guides suggested that go to Nalanda University. Ask help from them. Then you will be cured from the disease. So uh, the priest, the priest in the university said, read Quran, a sentence of Quran for a month, then you will come from the disease. So that he himself says, thought that why should I listen to them? They are Hindus. I will not listen to them. But even then, at the end stage, he started reading that sentence from himself. Then he was cured from that. Then he was cured from that disease. Thinking that they are too brilliant as we should destroy them, we should not let them go. Thinking that
Very happy that someone really had this information. Very nice. Let me just illustrate what he told. I'll put it in a very soft. Okay. Bhatyar Khilji was suffering from one disease. He went across all Kahims. It was basically they look for their doctors. It was not cute, and ultimately someone suggested him you should go to Nalanda University. There are amazing doctors and consultants, and you have to actually go and consult them. So he went there, and but he had a condition that I will not take any pill inside because I want very orthodox from the community, and I don't want to take anything from the priests or from this community. And what happened? This went across, and ultimately, when they came to Nalanda, so one of the doctors, okay, no need to worry, I will cure his disease. So he was very fond of Quran. And he told, okay, you read Quran from this page to this page daily 3 times, from this page to this page. Right? Then what was this? He had actually sprayed certain certain powder on the every page, on the top and the bottom and inside. And whenever he used to turn the page, you should turn the page and put it in his, and he used to smell. So daily he used to do this for almost 2 months. And this is got cured. And he was astonished without taking pill. How did it get cured? That is the magic of my Quran. And, oh, great. But ultimately, when they asked the consultant, Guru Vaidya, then he told that, no. We have actually spilled certain powder in that where it comes to your mouth and have smelled it and it has actually cured. See, that very unfortunate of Bharat is that this person would have actually embraced him, rewarded him. The sad story starts here is that he told that these people are so brilliant. Okay. And he asked, what is that innovations they have all these people have done? And they were telling that these are the innovations in healthcare, and these are the innovations that is in engineering sector, these are the innovations in trigonometry and mathematics. My God, these are innovations. Then they'll grow much higher. That's the time this idiot triggered in his mind and he told that go and lit the fire. You know this story? Chinese monk writes this when it was lit to fire, 3 months the fire was burning. So much of that. This is the story of Nalanda University. I thought I should tell you that they were actually whatever we call it as personalized learning. Okay, now we tell curriculum personalization. All these things was done only in advanced. Okay. Now we claim in Europe that we have the best of the best learning system. All nonsense. We had this best of the best education system. Now, if I go back to education 2.0, this is our current schooling system. Okay, created at the birth of industrial revolution and unfortunately used to produce test takers. I use this word test takers. Our complete education system was designed for test takers, not to create innovators, entrepreneurs, scientists, technologists, leaders, artists, sportsmen, or machines. It was very, very curriculum centric. This was our education 2.0. Till now we use. This was happened even when this was happened when British left out of our country. We simply followed what they left. The education system framework was designed by British only to see to it that they all become second divisional clerks. The complete design. It was made for the masses and for the test takers. Curriculum. It was very, very curriculum centric. And they didn't wanted any innovation because the one thing they understood, British people, what they understood that if I want to actually break India, I need to break the education fabric of this country. This is what first they did. They broke the education fabric and they completely ruled. Two agendas they wanted. One is they want to break the education fabric and they want to see to it that lot of English missionaries actually come in and lot of conversions happen. And people started thinking English is a big thing that will happen. At the independence era, it is on record. At the independence era, Vinoba Bhave, you know what Vinoba Bhave? Vinoba Bhave wrote to letter to Nehru. Why do you want to think that English should be the medium of instruction? Let us have their mother tongue together because we already have the great script. Why do you want? Since he come from London, he thought that okay, let us because he was not able to arrive to the consensus, then it would okay, we'll adapt English. Till today, trust me, Atal, how many people will think in English? Raise hands. You all think in your mother tongue? Your thinking starts in your mother tongue. It is the biggest mistake of Indian education system that we adopt English. I'm not telling to one sector of the people. There is some advantages when IT came up, but still, if we want to be actually there, we lost the train. If I would have been nurtured in my mother tongue, I would have done my education of my success. Till today, I think everything in my mother tongue called as Kannada. Then only I translate it to English. Your creativity is always in your mother tongue. That's the reason your mother tongue is mother tongue only. English is a father tongue. ನಾನು ಇದನ್ನು ಬಹಳ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇನ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ಮೈ early part of my career, when I was actually teaching programming subjects, I used to draw 3 columns. First one is Kannada. How Kannada is designed. Second one is English. Then I used to write C programming. Okay? And I used to tell the design person. I used to take how the grammar tokens, I used to relate this to all this one. And today, and I used to compare. In fact, many times people should listen me how the programming languages were designed. Sometimes I come and tell you, oh, what was the design of any language? Plenty of languages are designed. What was the intention of designing all these languages? I'll show the history. Trust me, the best script is actually your Kannada. Not only Kannada, it's all our Dravidian language. It could be Tamil, it could be Kannada, it could be Telugu, and all these things. It's a great language. If my textbooks would have been evolved at that moment, we would have seen so much of innovations in India and would have actually moved over it. When Russia doesn't have no English, they have built all most defense capability and innovations are done in Russia. You take Chinese today, they don't even make Google to enter their gateway. Google is not entered into the gateway. They have built their own gateway. They have built their own Facebook. Completely dependent, nowhere dependency on any other English languages. You take Scottish, you take Germans, you take today the semiconductor industry means it comes to Koreans or Taiwan's most highest manufacturing chip industry. Not so all these countries they have actually developed their own intellectual capability in their mother tongue. That's the reason I think we need to, if someone is actually very, very patriotic of your mother tongue and you want to make things happen, kindly go and start translating the books of your engineering or your technical course into your mother tongue. Me and my wife has taken it. What I am not doing, my wife is doing very regularly. She's been awarded by AICT. She has written 2 books, translated computer science books. And AICT gave her 1 lakh rupees for her for doing that. She's on a mission today. She's a part of the meeting panel. She's translating only to reach out to the people. Like this, if medical books are coming, my fast and pace of learning will be very high and innovations will come. Okay. So this is something what we studied. Now, if I want to speak about the education 3.0, basically it was called in internet digital world, also called as digital first education after internet revolution. Okay, especially how many people know about Khan Academy, Coursera, it could be simplylearn.com, edX. Okay, all these are actually transforming the world. Okay, redefine the norm after COVID. Actually, things changed. Today, people think that why should I come to the class? I have everything on my YouTube. Biggest challenge for a teacher is that student is fully prepared. Then what should I deliver in the class? So these are few challenges in really good. And lot of libraries got replaced today. It's all e-books. People read on e-books. How many people have Kindle here? See, it's all about bookmarking, captionizing, how the things have changed the way I read. Many times what I do is that when I go to take bath, I feel that if I'm spending around 20 minutes in my bathing, I'll be listening to some textbooks. I would I'll put it into your audio mode and then come. That was a preparation I used to do. Things have changed. Now, if you go back in the pre-internet world, lot of things, search engines replaced our library, yes or no? Complete search engine replaced our library. Even WhatsApp replaced postal services. Lot of things. So what is it we are creating? Whatever can be done digitally can be done digitally, and whatever needs to be done physically should be done physically. And physical and digital world should be blended seamlessly to complement each other and not to compete each other. Both should be there. Then how would I blend an education system exactly? So, how many people think that what are the few technologies that revolutionized? Can someone tell me? Let us walk. What certain technologies, forget about education sector, what do you feel that these are the technologies which really transform the community? Anybody? Which really transform the world? Computer science course. Which is one technology which transformed the complete world? Huh? AI is next. I'm looking for something before. Go back and see what are the few technology which revolutionized. Certain sectors completely transformed. Certain sectors completely transformed. Cash payment, you don't use first. UPI made a huge difference. Next, another thing. E-commerce, okay, next. I'm going to before this. Next. Anybody? Come on, think. Now, question you don't even think. Your thinking capability has gone to the bottom now. We have stopped asking questions for you. Huh? Yes. Microprocessor, okay. What else? Other things? Microprocessor is good. What all other thing? For a computer science course, I don't know if people have already completed a UG. Internet made a huge difference in the world. The innovation of internet. Internet revolutionized all the world. After that, in India, very specifically, Jio transformed the complete landscape of digital transformation. Nobody imagined. Today, the internet package or internet traffic, the least paid internet traffic in the world is we pay very less for it compared to other. Huge revolution that happened. That was a time when Java used to claim that I am the dot in the .com. That was a slogan of Java. That means I am a dot. In internet we always call it dot. No, .com, .org. I am the dot in the internet world. Java used to claim this. Some microphones. Completely changed. Java changed the complete internet scenario, and Java, which almost all 99% of my internet applications was developed using of Java. That's what it threatened to Microsoft, and Microsoft then came with .NET framework. A lot of technology shift happened. How many people know about Deep Blue from IBM? This is one tool which actually defeated Castro. Just people thought that human intelligence is always much bigger than any of the human machines. But when IBM tested it, and today they were able to actually defeat Castro. And it was proved today. Today, we are living in an era where transportation and logistics completely changed by Uber. Uber transformed the way we transport. Logistics completely changed. Yes or no? Uber? Amazing technology. Uber doesn't even own any single taxi. Uber doesn't own any single taxi of its own. It is only a simple aggregator. It brought all the stakeholders on this technology platform. Amazing. Like this, certain technologies really transformed. Now, what we want to speak is about how education is going to transform. Okay. So, lot of things get changed in the last few years. And another thing that really changed to India was my telecom sector. We were the first to actually full-fledged deployment of IP network was done in India. That was a time when I want to actually call from India to US. My complete packets used to go on a carrier called as AT&T. They were the only AT&T. You know about AT&T as a company? How many people have heard about Bell Labs? AT&T, Bell Labs. Hey, all people don't know who is Bell Labs. Oh, go there. Where does your C originated? See, invented from where? From Bell Labs. Bell Labs was AT&T. American Telephones and Telegraphs. Dennis Ritchie. Oh my God. Okay. See, this is AT&T American Telephones and Telegraphs. This was the first company which laid the optical fiber cable in the Indian Ocean. And they were the only first people to communicate the Asia to the Europe. And anybody needs to do the STD calls at that moment. I don't know, people have not even experienced STD calls. We used to go to the PCO. It is called as PCO. Go dial, and especially after 11 o'clock, it was 1-4, and we used to stand in the queue. I want to do an international call. I used to go and stand the queue, and it was very, very expensive because the carrier was AT&T carrier. Today, the people of America, if they want to call to Indians, they don't use AT&T, they use Reliance. That means my carrier is becoming cheaper. See the way the telecom sector has changed. From a technology per se, since there are all technology students, I want to tell you this technology per se. The biggest technology change in Jio was, it was a complete IP network. It is called as LTE. What is LTE? Anybody can expand? It's called as LTE, long-term evolution. Mobile phone on ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅದೇನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು. It is called as VoLTE. They built a completely digital network. Upon that, voice became a supplement. It's called as voice over LTE. It's called as voice over LTE. Andre, it's a digital network. It is designed for data. Voice is a supplement. Previous all networks, including Airtel before Jio launched, Airtel and everyone is moving towards LTE. But before that, if you go back and 1 and 2G, UMTS would be the third technology, CDMA, TDM, all these things you can see. This was basically a different technology, basically digital network upon that voice came. I want you people to know all this, how actually technology evolved. Interesting. In generation ಏನು ನೋಡೇ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಇದು ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ. That's what we get excited. Okay. So, lot of things have actually changed the way we take over. So, how education possibility questions arise in everyone's mind? How education will evolve next? What could be 4.0 education? Personalization of education 1 and compression and scalability of education 3.0. This is what something we should look in. How will it take the advantage of digital and AI revolution that's going to happen over the last few decades? I thought this was a very old slide, but I was actually looking out for a ChatGPT 4 that's going to revolutionize. Okay. So, post-COVID, how the digital, these are the big questions. So, what I will do is that these are the key parts that's going to happen. One is curriculum personalization. I mean to say, today curriculum is defined by the university. Can you create a dynamic curriculum based on the passion? Can I able to create a learning path based on my DNA and my passion? Can I create a dashboard like this? Today, many people are going to do this. It's possible. Don't happen. So, curriculum personalization. Curriculum personalization is not static to the university. That's the reason UGC always felt that I need to more of this affiliated system. That's the mission for UGC. Affiliated system was working to the small scale of operations, but not for the larger scale. Unfortunately, we expanded all of become affiliated in Bangalore University, UT. That's the reason people want to become autonomous. UGC also wants. ಇಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷ and all this curriculum personalization, content personalization, your assessment personalization, all this was done in my Nalanda University. You are not. Oh, in the US at that time. What nonsense. We have done this. So this is good to the assessment personalization. I will tell you what's going to happen is that it's already there today. Today, if I have this is the assessment I get, it will keep on throwing in the questions till I achieve certain threshold of my intelligence. Okay. Automatically take back. This has already been happening through AI, and it is a old story. I'm speaking about 10 years back story. After ChatGPT 4.0, it's already well high. Nothing is going to change. Content personalization. How many people feel that I get personalized videos on my YouTube? You know it. YouTube only, I get YouTube videos based on my browsing pattern. It will identify, it will prompt you subscribe for this. If I press a like, it will feel that oh, it will take the data. Oh, this is what it is. This was almost 7 or 8 years back. I wrote in my LinkedIn profile at that moment telling that when YouTube is actually personalizing my delivery of content, my content, personalized content delivery, why can't it be done in an education system? 8 ವರ್ಷದ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ನಾನು LinkedIn profile ಬರೆದಿದ್ದೆ. When I thought that YouTube is personalizing the content YouTube for me. This is what we need to bring to the education fraternity. Today, it's getting realized. Today, ChatGPT 4, which is completely amazing. I was yesterday, I shared something on my officer's group and tell them, hey, see this, this is what is going to happen. Okay, curriculum personalization I provide is practices assessment personalization. Every individual is actually born with certain strengths and capabilities and competencies. I'm unfortunate about the education system is that our complete education system failed to identify the talent DNA of a kid. They are comparing it to learn, which is not possessed in his DNA at all. We are compelling him to learn, which is not passionate about. And still he will go and end up at this. And many people still today, when I ask this question, even I did this exercise with my own son. Okay, when we do this, is hey, what is your talent? If I'm able to actually identify the talent of a kid at the early part of his career, then I'll create a learning path exclusively for this talent DNA. Nurture this talent, he will excel in this life. What do the AI can promise? Could I not need to go to education institutions? My complete education system will move from degree-based education system to the skill-based education system. Fine. How much time I have? Another 15, 20 minutes. Up to 11. Okay. Then I will just go back and another 15. No. Part 1 is finished. This is my topic. I thought of telling those things because lot of students were there. I changed when I came to my open business. Okay, then I should not tell something which is very, very helpful. This is my real topic. If I tell want to acknowledge that I was just a lot of content we both share, and this is some content when we were discussing, and this is certain content was compiled for me. Imagine closing your eyes and waking up on 1st Jan 2030. I was very recently in Z Business channel, Z News channel. With me, two co-analysts was Vice President of Qualcomm, who happens to be a good friend of mine, and another senior Vice President from Citrus company, Steroids, sorry. And we were all discussing about what will happen that for the technology landscape in 2030. Okay, and I was telling, and in 2030, how the education landscape is completely changed. All we were sitting and we were discussing in this channel. It was live on the tech. You can watch me on same uses. I think it is an amazing input that I told 2030 could be the biggest game changer, because by the time OpenAI is going to mature, and the LLMs, large models, language models will keep on matured, and totally different applications will be instantly developed. Okay, world is changing. So the world has 9 million human hand can handle robots. What the one said, drones could be flying over it, delivering packages for people. Cars, self-driving, energy is abundant and clean. Plus, it's the largest technology company in the education business. Yes, 2030 is going to happen. Now, I don't want to tell what is AI. I want to tell this very clearly. I told about this very recently also. Up to 800 million jobs globally will be displaced by automation by 2030. I was telling 2035, but after Chat GPT 4, now we are feeling that almost all jobs will go. What is the biggest reason? McKinsey report? Over 120 million workers are forced to undergo retraining the next 3 years as AI reshapes the industry. This is the technology transition time. By the time technology matures, it will take another cycle, and by the time it takes up, a lot of people will be out of job. And all the content creators, translators, okay, complete BPO concept will be automated. BPO is the fact. All your chatbots is going to be replaced with the human. One real statistics is that also true that I've been telling this example quite a long time. Sundar Pichai himself made a statement that 30% of Google employees doesn't have official degree. No, they don't have official degree. They are still recruited based on the skills and the talent. So down the line, if you have talent, you have skills, you are recruited in degree, be it ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿರೋ BD ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿರೋ ಮಾಡಿರೋ ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿರೋ trust me, this is going to be the reality and it is going to happen. Nowhere it will become relevant, my degree becomes irrelevant. Many times I don't know what I'm doing in this education as a leader. I was actually last 2 days back, I think I was with one of my friend, and he was demonstrating me how an healthcare application can be developed. And this healthcare application to develop it required around 70 to 80 developers and like time space of 1 quarter. And he run this on ChatGPT. And how many people know about there is some human diagram? You know about human diagram? Science folks? Human diagram. unified modeling language, AML diagrams. If I put that specs on that, design is there and I draw the specs. If I start funneling it out, it will write the best. And I keep on funneling it out and tell you that you increase the efficiency of the coding, cut the lines of the code, increase the functionality of the code. What are the corporate best coding practices? This is how the funnel can prompt the amazingly, which was supposed to take 1 quarter time, it is done in minutes. Application is built. Then I asked, what does developers do? What developers will do? No. Ultimately, I was just in the talk, I think it was at 10 o'clock, people that told Chandrasekhar sir, come join. Sat at 1 o'clock night. We were actually seeing this demonstration amazingly. That means all high coding jobs will move to the low coding jobs or low coding jobs. Complete scenario will change in the IT sector. IT sector is in the big transition. Take it from me today. You know what 2020, 25, 24 or 20, 26, 25 jobs. Reality. You should bite this reality. It is going to be the one of the biggest challenge because everywhere people are feeling that so 80% of the layoffs will happen in the IT sector because of automation. How many people have heard about something called as AWS Bedrock? AWS Bedrock, Google ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Okay, AWS Bedrock, where I was amazing. I was a part of the AWS segment very recently, and I've seen the demonstration of how the complete applications works. All the Gen AI comes as a service for you. We thought that AWS was very popular with you all. Storage, S3 service, you know? S3 service, AWS simple storage as a service. All as a service. Okay. Platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, software as a service. Now Gen AI tools as a service is giving for every sector. It comes as a sample for me. I was stunned to see the personalized learning in their what they are told. Just a classroom in a government school, they are given a tab. It actually identifies the strength of each individual and personalizes. All these applications can be developed on business. But the developer ಓದಿ world is changing very fast. It's all about the designers today. It's not about the coders today. Now on the time, oh my God, many times I think that I was there in my previous organizations. Oh, we should make the coding, enhance the coding skills of the students, make them get into hacker rank, hacker, code chef, coding platforms, how to increase their coding skills. And I saw all these things. What is this I should teach you? It's all about the design. Yes, still coding is required. Ultimately, that's a passion you should have because anything you want to test, you have a certain concept. If I want to code and get it out, yes, but still, the shift is from coding to designing. So all your small jobs will get mundane jobs will get automated. It's going to happen in the next few years, 2025 or 27. I personally feel 2030, probably OpenAI will still mature God only knows how the IT sector will function. What skills are required. Instantly applications are developing. Okay. So, LinkedIn, in 2000, jobs globally would change by at least 65% by 2030 due to the rapid development of AI. Microsoft 2023 Work Trade Index report analyzes the stock scenario in India, wherein overwhelming 74% of the workforce harbors deep-seated anxieties about AI's potential to replace the jobs. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ AI ಕಲಿಬೇಕಾ ಸರ್ ನಾನು? Yes, AI ಏನು ಕಲಿಬೇಕು ಸರ್? AI is not about learning the tools. Many people think that it's all about learning the tools. No, I have to learn by my robots too. My bot can do, the software bot can do. Then what is that I need to learn? Yesterday I was actually interacting with one of the person who is a leader in tech. Uh, how do you integrate actually ChatGPT in my company with all the curriculum of computer science streams? Can we really work on that? Then okay, sir, let us dedicate every Saturday for this. I want your time. Let us discuss. It's a money for all of us. I'll tell you, this is current statistics. 14% of the workers claim to have already lost a job to robots. Ongoing job displacement. In May 2023, already we see that 3,009 jobs losers was linked directly to AI. And my friend who was specifying to me in that talk, what he was telling me is that my cousin who did engineering at NIT Trichy, being the topper at NIT Trichy, went to US to do her AI and robotics MS program. At the end of the MS program, she applied for one job, and there were 6,000 applications for one job, being a specialized in AI robotics. And she was compelled to agree to go and take up that job and work for 1 year free. Reality, sir, that is not the exception. What? So, British Telecom aims to replace 10,000 staff with AI in 7 years. Corporate AI workforce plan. Impact. Early AI and automation have already delivered up to 70% since 1980. This is an historical wage impact. Now it's educated, white-collar workers that are impacted by automation. No more white-collar jobs. 80% of the office workers think AI improves their job performance. Impact on employment as positive workplace influence. More than half of 18 to 24 years old concerned about AI taking place. Generation employment risk. 81.6% of digital marketers believe content writers will lose jobs because of AI. Content writers will straight away lose their jobs. Translators will lose their jobs instantly. It will happen in this next another 2 quarters. CEOs of AI firms like OpenAI, Crack and Open, warning about the risk of execution from AI. There were already lakhs of subscriptions of ChatGPT. I don't know after ChatGPT 4, and then ChatGPT 4 is also free. People thought that ChatGPT 4 could be again licensed subscription. No, it's free. Something amazing going to happen. Okay. Future of education, I'm really scared. For me, I look as a opportunity because I can still come on the board of some tech companies and the first robot lecturer was introduced Germany in 2019. Has already started delivering lectures to university students at Philippines University of Marburg. The robot is teaching assistant lecturers. University of the future, rise of continuous learning, changing the world of work, blurring industry boundaries, evolving digital behavior, increasing international competences. A lot of universities landscape is going to change. People are always thinking about virtual cities could be the reality. Virtual university, AI centered smart university. Everything will be AI ahead. There are plenty of smart content, personalized learning, adaptive learning, data accumulation. We are actually building on what are the tools for all these things. We are working on this now. How to actually package it for an education institution. What is that package I need to do? It's not about building a learning management system. How do I bring AI? How can I integrate ChatGPT and my coding learning? How do I really enhance the problem solving capability of the students? How do I improve the communication skills? How do I bring them become the great problem solvers? How do I actually improve the critical thinking? How do I bring all these things? Virtual facilitator, automated grading, chat campus chatbot, proctoring, it's already there. How do I bring practice? Why the hell I need to spend time on actually for one complete 1.5 months spend time on examination today? Nonsense. Today my technology enables it. Waste of money, waste of resources, time and effort of teachers and everything is damn waste. Lot of things is going to change. Lot of assessment tools is getting. We are packaging it. What are the packages that we can use for education? If I think me and we were actually working on curriculum for my autonomous institution for EPCT. We identified somewhere around 2,000 job roles in 27. This is a job role. What is the skills for that? Now, in these skills, what is the fundamental subjects? What is the intermediate subject? What is the expert subject? Now, how do I create a learning path in this basket? I put all these job descriptions. Then, how do I actually pull a learning path where students can choose these subjects so I can go there? Can I do this in the starting for an university? I will discuss this is what your curriculum personalization should happen. Automatically content should come, assessment should come, all these things should happen. So people are working metaverse. I think there is one session there on metaverse. You can actually see the experience art surgery happening on the metaverse. I can just put the gadget, I can see augmented reality over there, open it up. What should I teach? For example, in thermal engineering and engines, in mechanical engineering, people used to actually take around minimum 4 to 8 credits for 2 subjects, teaching about how the engine should be there. Today it's not the scenario. Bosch has developed one complete XR and VR, where I open, I see the parts of air, go immersive learning, it's called as immersive learning, go there, open engine, how it works, and all these things. I open, again reassemble. Whenever I open, there's a questionnaires that come. I tick these are questions. When I learn, I also evaluate. If I want to teach the same concept, how the engine works, how each parts of the engine works, how to assemble the each engine, what is the working principles, physics behind this, what is the thermal part of this, all this if I want to explain, it will take you for me semester. I can do this in 1 hour. And I can also see if the students are evaluating. Automatic evaluation will happen. This is metaverse. That's the use case of the metaverse. Okay. So trends, it's always moving towards learner centered and technology enhanced today. It's going to replace teachers. Absolutely, it is going to replace teachers. It is not going to replace the teachers in full, but the teachers who won't use AI, it is going to use the teachers who replace the teachers who are not using that. I made this statement in the medical college. Whether AI is going to replace doctors? No. AI is not going to replace doctors, but still, AI is going to replace the doctors who doesn't use it. So it will not be possible to satisfy the rising demand for higher education, especially in the developing countries, by relying on traditional approaches. Definitely, India is the youngest country. We are targeting for GR 50% by 2035. Gross enrollment ratio. We are 27% and we are targeting for 50%. If this to happen, we need to adopt different model. So, or we thank you. Any questions?
keynote speaker gave in-depth information on evolution of education, revolution in technology, blending of digital and physical, future job market due to AI survey reports, and relating to many real-world examples and application of AI in education. Thank you very much, sir.
Really fortunate.
Project ready. Okay, thank you, sir.
Slide over. Slide change. Next one.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to session 2. We would like to start our session 2 with the topic Chat GPT. Our keynote speaker is Shane J.D. Fernandez. Shane J.D. Fernandez is a dynamic and accomplished professional with a diverse skill set and a passion for innovation. Graduating from Manipal Institute of Technology with a BTech in Biomedical Engineering in 2022. He has seamlessly blended academic excellence with a remarkable track record in technology and leadership. Currently serving as a software developer executive at KPMG India, Shane's journey extends beyond his professional role. Prior to his role at KPMG, Shane demonstrated a strong association with Microsoft, where he served as an intern under Microsoft Content Division and also as Gold Microsoft Launch Student Ambassador. He has also conducted webinars on emerging technologies and delivered sessions on Microsoft technologies, aiding students in learning about Microsoft Azure and contributing technical blogs and tutorials on various Azure services. Shane's association with Microsoft is marked by numerous accolades, including being a finalist in national level competitions and securing top positions in Microsoft Azure League hats. He has not only delivered webinars on emerging technologies, but also actively contributed technical blogs and tutorials on Microsoft Azure services, demonstrating his dedication to knowledge sharing. Beyond the tech realm, Shane has taken on leadership roles as the General Secretary of Ek Sangharsh, Manipal, and as the President and Head of AI at Zia Innovations Private Limited. His multifaceted journey includes contribution to various initiatives, exemplifying his commitments to personal and professional growth. In summary, Shane J.D. Fernandez is a standout individual whose academic background is biomedical engineering, coupled with his leadership roles and notable achievements in the technology domain, make him an ideal speaker for any event seeking insights into the intersection of technology, leadership, and innovation. I welcome you, sir. May I request Dr. Gopala Krishna, HOD, Department of Commerce, to felicitate the keynote speaker. Thank you, sir. One more statement. He is the youngest keynote speaker of all the 5 sessions. Almost your 8 students. Welcome to you, Shrein sir. Over to the keynote speaker.
All right. Good morning. Am I audible? Yes. Perfect. Come share. Let's start. Okay. Good morning, everyone. There's no energy at all. I said there's no energy is coming. Okay. Had your breakfast? No, sir. Because I'm going to start this topic with a breakfast imagination. That's where it started. So what's written on the slides? What is it? Generation AI. Generative AI. Which one should I take? Generation or generative? Still hearing 2 months. Generative? Sure. What is generative AI? Okay, this was very good. Okay, I went to a college a couple of years back and I was talking something on electronics. Okay, I was teaching them direct current. You know what the answer was? The current which comes in directly is called direct current. This was something similar to that, right? What is Gen AI? Generative AI, generation AI. Explain it to me like a kid. I don't know anything on tech. Because the session today is on ChatGPT, correct? So before knowing ChatGPT, we should know what is Gen AI. How did ChatGPT come into picture? How do you use it? Okay, that's how I'm going to take you, and it will be a practical session. That's why it says practical view, right? So it will be completely practical. So you can apply it in your daily curriculum or whatever you want, right? If you want to write research papers, this is going to help you a lot for sure, right? And there's a joke around that. I'll tell it later. Anyway, so tell me what is generative AI? Okay, whether it's not generation AI, it's generative AI. Okay? Yeah. So what is generative AI? Okay. I asked you how many of you had your breakfast, correct? Okay. I had idli vada. Okay. Okay, great. So what comes to your mind? Idli vada. Just idli and vada. You generated an image of the same thing, right? You got an image in your brain where there were how many idlis in the plate? 2 or 1? 3 idlis. How many idlis? 3 idlis. Right. So the vada was slightly golden kind of a color, right? That dark brown kind of a color. So you generated an image in your brain. How did you do that? Huh? Imagine. You can imagine because you have already seen it somewhere, correct? So you have trained on that data set. Similarly, so these are your neural networks working, correct? So when computers' neural networks work, right, and they are trained on this data, you get something called as generative AI, right? So what can this do for you? It can generate new things, right? Just like you generated idli vada, it can also generate you idli vada. It can generate music, it can generate text, it can generate video, anything of that sort, right? So that's where generative AI comes. And we have GPT, we have co-pilots, we have many more, right? We'll see all of them today. Okay, that's me. I don't need this more introduction of me needed, right? If you want to follow me, then there are my LinkedIn handle and that's my Insta handle. And so what am I going to cover today? So let's divide it into what, why, when, how, because this is what an engineer should know, right? How, why, when, and what. What to use, when to use, how to use, and why to use. That's very needed. So what is Gen AI? I'll be covering that. What is ChatGPT? I'll cover that as well. Co-pilots. Then there are something called as open source LLMs, right? So I'll differentiate between all these things, and the rest of the things you'll do it on your own for sure, right? If you are with me in this session. So I covered this. What is generative AI? You know it very well. So it cooks up entirely new stuff for you, right? So this stuff is not plagiarized. So all these days you could have done it on your own. So let's say you were stuck in a code problem. So what would you do? Huh? No, before ChatGPT. Stack Overflow. Have you heard of that website anytime? Right? We used to go there, we used to get someone's code, or we used to go to someone's GitHub, we used to get that code, right? But still that code was plagiarized. It was your own code. Right? So what ChatGPT did, it generated new things for you. So the code is no more plagiarized. Now to place generative AI, right? So this is how it can be placed. So you have a huge umbrella called artificial intelligence, right? That's where you have many subdomains, many subdomains. And then that was introduced in way back in 1956. Okay, quick question here. I want this session to be very interactive. Artificial intelligence was founded in 1956, right? Okay. Why did it take so long for us to come to Gen AI? People were not smart enough. Huh? Were people not smart enough? Then, what was the reason? This is so blank. You don't know? No energy? Huh? Nobody knows. Why did it take so long for Gen AI to reach here? Why wasn't it invented, let's say, 90s? What was the reason? Knowledge. No, knowledge was because 1956 AI was found, and all the research papers that you see today are written way back in 90s. So what took it so long? Technology. What do you mean by technology? Huh? Education system. Software. Okay. So see, practically talking about these things is very easy, right? But implementing them is really hard. So on a research paper, I can jot down a couple of results and simulations. But in real life, when you have to get these things out there in the market or in reality, it's really hard. You know why? Because the compute power. Right? Your compute should be that powerful enough. So I'll be showing you one of the software today. You can try it in all your systems, right? All your personal laptops. But that won't work the same way. Reason being, model of AI works different with GPU and it works different with CPU, right? So imagine when these things were going on, the electronics domain, right, that was still evolving. There was no proper GPU available at that moment, right? So if you take a picture of 1 GB, let's say 1 GB storage, it could take up this whole room back then. But now how much is 1 GB? It's there in your mobile phones, right? That's how small it has become. So to come to this level, we took so long. And that's why this was delayed. Not that people were not knowledgeable and anything. They had all the knowledge, but it was because of the infra thing that we have delayed it so much. So that's why you can see there machine learning came up in 1907 where the cloud advent started, right? So Microsoft Azure started in 90s. So do you know what's the first name of Azure, by the way? It's general knowledge. Nobody knows anything here. Huh? What is the first name of Azure? You know what is Azure? Okay. Do you know what is cloud? Yes. The ones which gives us rates. No. What is cloud then? What is cloud? Huh? Data. Data is cloud. Storing data. No, I can run my computer online, right? That's called virtual machine. So how is that on cloud then? If it's only storing data. Okay. Cloud is basically delivering any compute over internet, right? It can deliver anything over internet. It can be your virtual machine, it can be your database, it can be anything. Even generative AI is coming from cloud. Right? Even the generative AI, what you're going to see today, is completely on cloud. A part of it is offline, but I'll show that as well. But majority of it is on cloud. So that's why machine learning, deep learning, and generative AI started from 90s. However, AI started from the research and all the other parts, right? So how can you differentiate between ML, DL, and generative AI in terms of data? You have it on the screen. How can you differentiate that? How can you explain that picture in terms of data? Do you know what is machine learning? You forget it. Do you know what is AI? Direct current, artificial intelligence, AI. What is AI? Okay, tomorrow I come to you, I ask you what is AI, how will you explain it? Okay, what is intelligence? I just saw one of the photos that other speaker just spoke about intelligence, right? 2 days back, I guess, I don't know. Right? So what is intelligence? Now you can't tell me that you don't know. Because I've got it right-handed here. It's written in the book. Nice. What is intelligence? Knowledge. Are you intelligent then? Sure. I'm going to ask you tough questions then. Intelligent? Why do you claim yourself to be intelligent? Knowledge. Not even Gen AI has, so is it intelligent now? Even a dog knows how to cure itself when it's sick, so it's intelligent now. Why are we called intelligent? Because you respond to the surroundings, right? So you see, you comprehend, you talk after you comprehend, and you hear and then you comprehend. This sense is called intelligence. So when we transfer it to a computer, through various things, right? The eyes of the computer is a camera. Through that, what is the AI field which is related to that? Computer vision, right? CV is what we call it. So there are multiple things like this which makes a computer just like human, right? So finally, today where we are is generative AI. That is the imaginary part, what you just imagine idlis and vadas, right? That is the imaginary part computer has gained in 2020, right? So that is where we can see. Coming to that differentiation I was talking about, when you have less data, right? Comparatively less data, what do? When you have comparatively less data, what do you do for predictions or classification? What do you do? Okay. RCB, today is the RCB match, right? Yes, sir. Yeah. Nice. Who's going to win the match? Why? Huh? Why? Playoffs. How? How is it going to win the match? Okay, let's say there's rain now. They won't play next. Tell something logically, right? Why is it going to win the match? Why do you think it's going to win the match? It's in the form. So you have done some calculations in your brain, right? Let's say I have to do the same thing with computer. So which thing do I use here? It's a machine learning, right? Whenever there is less data and I have already the records of how many matches has RCB won or has RCB lost, I can just train a model, I can ask it will it win or not, right? This is what machine learning can do for us. So there's less data, right? So let's have slightly more data. Okay, let's say it's in thousands or nearly lakhs, right? Nearly lakhs or crores. Which one will you use? Will you still prefer using machine learning or will you use deep learning? Why? So deep learning works on neural networks, right? So they need a lot of data to work. That's why I go with deep learning. Then let's say I have data in billions and trillions. What will I do? I can train and I can come up with something new, right? And that is called generative AI. So this is how you can differentiate it based on data. Your chat GPT, what you are going to use today, that is also going to be trained or it's already trained on the same data, right? So based on the data, if somebody asks to differentiate between MLDL and Gen AI, this is how we can differentiate, right? Data matters here. Okay, so I just spoke about generative AI and we'll talk about ChatGPT in a while. Okay, so there is a part now where I'll be talking about large language models. A very small part. I won't cover it in depth, right? So this can be claimed as the heart of generative AI, right? Even if ChatGPT has a heart, not the human heart, right? But it has a heart, and that heart is called as large language models, right? So what are these doing? So I just told you that you can train, you can do all such sort of things, right? So these are those trained models. These are already trained on huge amount of data sets. They can be billions, trillions. GPT 3.5, for example, GPT 3 is trained on 500 billion parameters, right? So that's the training size for that particular thing. So they can learn from this. So just like what you learned, right? You learned to imagine idli vada by looking at idli vada. So similarly, this can generate text by looking at text, right? So this is the power of LLMs. So now I've told you that these are LLMs, this is generative AI. So let's see what are the type of LLMs we have. Before that, how did they evolve, right? There should be a roadmap, how did they come in? So when was GPT released? When was ChatGPT released? 20? Sure. When did you get to see it in your computers? 22 November, right? That's when it came in, and 23, it's still progressing, right? GPT 3.5 was launched in that period. GPT 3 was there before, but when it came to us, it was in 22 November, right? And after that, there has been so many, advancements in this field. Now, with that, I come to ChatGPT. So now I've laid a foundation. How did we come to ChatGPT? Is that clear? Is that clear? How did we reach here? Okay. So now tell me what's the full form of GPT. and explain what it is. Because I'm pretty sure all of you have been using it by now, right? Okay, ChatGPT you have used, not as a developer, but as a user, yeah, definitely. So what is GPT? Don't Google it. I can see heads going down to their phones. What is GPT? Generative? What? What is P? Pre-trained. And then T? What? Transfer. Transformers. Okay. What does that mean now? Generative pre-trained transformer. What does that mean? Can you break it down? Okay, what is a transformer? The one which gives us electricity, right? On every street. What is transformer? Huh? Nobody knows. What are parts of a transformer? Okay. So imagine a block where there is an encoder and a decoder, and you've given some input and an output comes out, right? In this encoder and decoder, there are things happening within that same block, right? That is the general structure of a transformer. So what happens here? That data that you have given, right? Let's say I say you generate a song for me, right? Generate some kind of a song. So what happens? It goes within this transformer, right? It translates this data into whatever you need. Firstly, it encodes. Basically, computer understands only numbers, right? So it converts them into numbers. It finds whatever you want. It again converts back into text and it gives you back. So this is a transformer unit, right? Generative is, you know what is generation, right? So it generates new things. Pre-trained is, it is already trained. Meaning, if somebody comes to you and tells, I've trained a GPT model, is that right? Is this the right statement what I just said? I have trained a GPT model. Is it right? Why? Yeah, you cannot train which is already pre-trained, right? So GPT is already pre-trained. It is already ready to use. You need not train it. But how can you improvise it? We'll see it in the future slides. Right? So ChatGPT is a system whose main function is to develop language through AI, right? It is humanly readable language. It's not that bookish language which comes up, right? So you can ask it to talk to you in a Shakespearean language, it will still do that for you happily. So that's what GPT is. And why have I written Microsoft there? OpenAI would be sufficient. Okay, GPT is owned by Microsoft. Just because I've written Microsoft there, it's now Microsoft. Who owns GPT? Huh? OpenAI, right? Who's the CEO? Sam Altman led OpenAI, owns the GPT. Now, why have I written Microsoft there? Because recently there was a partnership, right, wherein 49% stakes were by Microsoft. So, as a result, now the OpenAI, the Chat GPT, what you are using, it is available to you on cloud as well, the Microsoft Azure's cloud. I'll come to the difference. Why should you actually bother to use the cloud-based one than the one here, based on the need, right? So now we'll see there are multiple models in OpenAI. It's not just GPT that OpenAI provides. There are multiple other models as well. Can you name a few? GPT 3.5, I've named one. Next. Copilot. It's not a model. What's the next model? What does OpenAI provide? What? GPT 4. Okay, next. Is this all that OpenAI does? Okay. So recently there is 4.0, which is a turbo, which is a recent version. It's a multi-model thing, right? And then what it does, it provides these GPT-4 and GPT-4 Turbo. Then you have 3.5 Turbo. You have DAL-E. What does DAL-E do? I'll talk to you in a while. And there is TTS, Whisper, embedding models, and moderation, GPT-based, and there are deprecated models as well. What do you mean by deprecated? What do you mean by legacy or deprecated? Nobody knows. What does the mean? What does the word deprecated? And forget technical thing right now. What does deprecation mean? Decreasing. Yeah, one which no longer exists, one which has been suspended or retired, right? That's what deprecation means. So, a couple of models from OpenAI have already been suspended or retired from stocks, right? And then you can see it's the GPT-4o, the Omni model. This was launched recently. Besides this, they also have, there's one more which is not listed here. Which one is that? The video one. Which one is? It was in news a couple of days back. If you have seen Instagram, today it is there on Insta as well. I'm pretty sure all of you watch reels, right? But you don't get these reels. Which one is that? The one which generates video. Have you heard Sora? S-O-R-A. Okay. It's called the Sora model that generates video of 2 minutes length as well. So now you just have to give in your prompts, a video will be generated for you. Right? So that is again an offering from OpenAI. So these are all the models which are available and they can do all multilingual tasks as well. So if you want to talk your chatbot to talk to you in Kannada or explain something in Kannada to you, then your GPT-4 is or GPT is enabled able to do that, right? So this is how it is, and if you see here, it says legacy, 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 right? Can you see it on my screen? The yellow highlighted thing. That means it is in the verge of getting retired, right? It is entering that legacy field. So whenever you choose anything for your projects, I'm not sure if you are going to work with this or not, but if you are going to work with all these, just make sure that you don't choose a deprecated one or a legacy one, right? They will be available for you, but you're going to have a tough time working with it, right? So these are all the available models. So if you want to share the link as well and how to use it or the API specifications is given to you. That's about the models and yeah. So we were here, we saw the models. Now who developed it? Sam Altman and Microsoft Office is there. So there's a question here, right? I want one of you to answer because you've heard me all this while talking about OpenAI, talking about Azure and talking about everything in this world. So there's a question there. Which one, okay, you know, right? There are two offerings now. One is available on openai.com, other one is available on the cloud, Azure, right? Both are offered by two different organizations. One is given to you by OpenAI and one is given to you by Microsoft. Although underlying tech is the same, right? Which one will you choose? Okay, I'll give you a scenario. This makes it easier. So I'm a defense-based startup, right? And I want a developer who will work on a, let's say, a generative AI task, okay, an application which I want for defense purposes, okay? So I come to you as the startup and I ask you to develop one for me. So now you are the architect and you are the developer. So tell me, which one will you choose? You are having two offerings, right? You can take either one. Which one will you choose? Which is the thing that you will pitch it to? I want it with reasons, not just blindly Microsoft, OpenAI, Sam Altman. I want reasons. Guys, come on. What are the reasons? Why will you choose one among these? Huh? Why will you choose Microsoft? Data privacy. Who said that? Come on, why are you scared to even raise your hand? Who told me that? Data privacy. Right. Can you explain it more? Why wouldn't you choose OpenAI? What? No, you are not using it through browser anyway. You will get an API which you will be directly interacting with the model, right? The chat GPT is an interface for you. You are using the API of both. So you told me you choose Microsoft. Why? Although the answer is right, that is the right answer in this situation. But why? Should I leave it as homework or should I tell the answer? Homework.
The compatibility issue also will not be there with Microsoft.
No, it's the same. APIs are REST based, so they'll have to talk to the same way. So technically there is no difference, but still there is a point. What he said was right. Data privacy is the thing. The major reason is OpenAI. We don't know is our data going out and again being used to train the model, right? However, when it comes to cloud, the model that you get, it is separately provisioned only to you. Your data lies within you. This is the agreement that Microsoft does with you, right? So as a factor, you tend to choose, as a defense startup, I cannot give out my data, right? That's why I use the word defense. So as a defense startup, I cannot give out my data because it can go out in the internet and it can cause haywire, right? So what I do, I choose Microsoft over OpenAI, right? This is the reason why many organizations today have gone with the Azure OpenAI. You know the airline Indigo? You know Air India, right? They have the chatbots working today, right? One is called 6E Sky, 6E SKAI, other one is called Maharaja. So both of these have underlying infra of Azure OpenAI and not the direct OpenAI, right? So this is why organizations are choosing to use it on Azure. Okay, how to use it, I'm pretty sure all of you know. You can go to chat.openai.com, you can create an account, you can validate, and you're all set, you get the API. Now, I told you that one is Chat GPT, right? GPT is one, but there is much more than that. So, what is it? There are other LLMs. So, there are open source and proprietary LLMs. What are open source LLMs? What are open source LLMs? Huh? Nobody knows what is open source. Do you know what is open source? Have you contributed in open source? What? Open for all. There have not been any open source contributions, right? Nobody. Has anybody in the room done open source contributions? No one. Good. You have to get started with that because that is really necessary for you to learn how an application works, how to contribute, how to add or edit changes to your code or whatever it is, right? So you better get started. But open source LLMs are those which can be used without any proprietary or regulations in that, right? So you can use it for your own purposes. It's given to you with a license called MIT license, right? So that's completely free to use. But then comes proprietary LLMs. Proprietary LLMs comes with a cost. You have to pay money for every LLM or every transaction that you do over there, right? So that is the difference. And then there is also something called as small language models. I was talking about large language models. So there is one called small language models. In the picture, can you identify what are those LLMs and which are SLMs and which are LLMs? Okay, let me do one thing just to add more competition and divide you into teams. Right? Let's see which team is the brightest one here. Till that pillar, right? That pillar. This is team A, B, C, and D. Okay? I'm coming to every team right now. Team A, what is your answer? I want the answer for all those things. What is the first picture? What is that LLM named as? Name of the LLM? Meta is the name of the LLM. Then what is the company called? Pardon? What is that? What is the LLM called? Metaverse. My God. Something that starts with Meta is Metaverse. I want it from this team. If not, I'm going to the next team. That's all. What is the first picture? Which LLM is that? I'm not waiting for the other teams. I'm giving them time because they're the first team. Okay? You be ready with your answers. I'll come there. Don't worry. Till this pillar, that three girls were sitting, that is team 1. You guys, all guys are team 2. You are team 3 and you are team 4. Tell me, what is the first LLM? Quick. There's a company logo as well. It's easy to identify. What is it? You guys can decide. I'll come there. I'm not giving you time. But you guys, I'm giving you 1 minute exactly to name all of them. Your time has already started. Quick, one of you can stand up and tell me what is it. Similarly, you guys, I'm not giving you more time, not more than 10 seconds. No competitive spirit.
Mobiles not allowed.
Yeah, mobiles are not allowed. So even on mobile, they won't find it. They have to scan the thing. Some of them are easy over there. I want classification as well. You have just 15 seconds more. Quick. Team A. Nobody knows, not even one. Great. Okay, time's up. Next. 10 seconds. Lambda. Then Lambda. Okay, next. French company. Mistral. Then. Then. Amazon Q. That's written there. Next. Done. How many of them are SLMs and how many of them are LLMs? 4 LLMs. Which are the 4 LLMs? Okay. Partially right, partially wrong. Anyway, this same. 10 seconds. Quick. Mistral is LLM. Next. Amazon is LLM. Okay, next. That's fine. What is it? Next, quick. Your time is running up. Done? Okay. This team. This team is completely dead silent. They're like, what's going on in this planet? We don't even know what is it.
Louder.
Microsoft, Amazon, and LLMs. Gemma, I think this team and that team has done better. This team was dead silent anyway. Although they were dead silent, they spoke in the end. So I'll tell you the answer. That's not Lambda, it is Llama. Okay, Llama is a LLM from Meta. Okay, Mistral AI is called Mixture of Experts, and they come up with LLMs, right? 7 billion parameters and others. That's the second one. The third one is Gemini, that is offered by Google, right? It's their own large language models. Before this, what they had? Bar, and that was powered by Palm APIs, right? That is one. And Microsoft 5.3 is a small language model. It is open source, right? And then there is Amazon Q, which is Amazon's LLM. It is a proprietary model. And then you have Gamma 2 and Polygamma. These are open source SLMs from, nobody knows, Google, right? Google has given it for open source. That's how you can identify them, and these are the currently trending ones in the market. Okay, great. Same teams, right? Same teams. I have 3 quizzes coming up. Let's see. The first quiz, I'll give these 3 teams 1 point. This is 0. Let's see how will I make to hero. Answer. I'm not giving you more than 5 seconds this time. You guys, I'll give you 30 seconds. The question is, what's true about LLMs? What's true about LLMs? The options are there. Come on, zeros to heroes. Nari Shakti dekha to. Guys, time is running up. You have 10 more seconds or 15 seconds. You guys don't have time, huh? I'm telling you, I'm gonna just be there for a moment and go out. Right? Answer. Is it the inertia or is it really that you're thinking and telling me the answer? C. Okay. Yeah, the right answer is C. So all of you deserve 1. The response may vary despite using the same prompt, right? What tasks can LLMs perform due to their extensive training on vast amounts of text? I am coming to every team. Wait for a moment. You guys. Okay, let's give you the last chance this time. I'll start from here. 30 seconds. I'm not giving you even 5 seconds this time. Okay. This team I'm not giving 5 seconds. You tell me. 30 seconds, guys. Come on. Answer quick. Somebody saying, he's saying C, you're saying, which one should I take? Girls, you can also tell me, you are also part of this team itself. There's a border, but still you are part of the team, right? That's not India-Pakistan border anyway. So tell me. I'll come to every team. Give me a moment. Yeah. B. B. You're okay with that? You guys. B. B or C? C. You agree with C? All of you. Ekamata. B. Okay. The hero team. B or C? A. Who was that guy? C. C. Okay. The ones who said C, it's wrong. The answer is B. Right? For those who said B, you do not have any. You'll be happy. There's one more. Okay. So, why was it B and not C? Let's say I'll give you a brownie point if somebody answers me. Any team, open for all teams. Why is it B and not C? That other one, not this one. The other one. Why was it B and not C? Because both are generation itself, right? Why was it not? I can make it do somehow. No? Not this one. Wait, I'm asking for the previous question. You guys answered me. The answer was B, right? Why was it B and not C? This one I'll come to every team, give you timings and get the answers. Any answer? Why was the other one? Okay, let me change the condition itself. Yeah, for this one, you told me it is not C, it is B. And even I told you it is B. Why is it B and not C? You can generate video itself. Okay. It is a textual based thing, so at the moment it cannot do any 3D modeling. Right? Because you need to give it a path, but it is not tried and tested anywhere, right? You can do it, you can try it, but it is not sure that it's going to draw it. So it is not trained on 3D model, it's trained on text. So only video, audio, text is supported at the moment. That's why it is B and not C. Nobody answered, I take the brownie point back. Right? So now, which of these are mapped correctly? I'll start with this team this time. Which of this is mapped correctly? Correct mapping. E. A. Okay, they are very fast listening. Team E. C. Map correctly. C. Tell me one A, B, C, D, all you are saying. I can just take one answer. D. D for dog. You. The hero team. Hero team, which one is it? A. Okay. The winner is that team. The answer is B. Because the rest are wrongly mapped, right? So image generation is the only thing that is mapped correctly in that. Dolly is the model. I don't know how many of you saw when I was scrolling through. That's why I scrolled the models so that you guys can understand and then I ask this question. Right? It was there in that thing. So image generation is done by DALL-E 2 and DALL-E 3, right? And plain text generation, OpenAI, remember, OpenAI is not a model at all. It's an organization. So those who said C, that's why it is wrong. Whisper is a thing which generates your audio and not your image, right? And audio and speech recognition is done by Whisper and not by GPT 3.5 Turbo, right? That's the right answer. So the winner is that team. Yeah. Okay. I told you about customizing LLMs, right? I told you cannot train which is already trained, right? So let's say you still want to do it. Let's say you still want to work with it, right? You want to give it some flavor. So how can you do that? Yes, there's an option. Either you can do something called as RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation, or what you can do is you can fine tune it a little more, right? The particular model you can fine tune it and then you can get answers out of it. Again, these are very vast topics. I'm not going in depth of it, but yes, there's an option for you. If you want to know more about this, if you want, you can connect with me, or you can ask GPT, or you can ask Google, right? You'll get the answers. So fine tuning is done again to improvise that model, right? So you can see there are bandages on this face, right? Can you see that bandages? Yeah, that is the data pasting it on the readily available GPT, right? So I'm giving it 3 plasters, but you can put any plasters you want. Basically, that's what it means. You're appending your data, right? So that data is being appended, and I'm using it for my own purpose. This is the major thing that is being implemented in the industry today, right? Anything that you see, I just told you 6E Sky from Indigo and Maharaja, right, from Air India. So they have done a RAG wherein you can ask the chatbot to book a ticket for you, right? I can show that to you in a while. Okay, let me just show a demo how they have done the RAG. Yeah, see, 6E Sky support, 6E SKAI, right? 6E is their airline. So till it loads, yeah, see, this is what you can do. There is a arrow which says hi here. You can just say agree and continue. So see what it can do for you. Hello there, your friendly Indigo customer experience AI. How can I help you? You can ask me about your query in a few words. And what can you do? You can do web check-in. You can do boarding pass. You can do your seat selections. You can do anything. This by natural language, right? This is more than what your virtual assistants can do. So all by, let's say I'll ask it, book me a ticket from Bangalore to Delhi for tomorrow. It'll go, it'll search a flight for me. It'll see which is the optimal one for me. And it will get with the final confirmation that this is what you want to do, yes or no. If I say yes, it will book the ticket for me. Right? That's how they have implemented the RAG in their thing. And not just this, you can ask any query about the Indigo policies. So that also will be answered. So this is something RAG can do for you. So what I was showing you now in this slide, right? The bandages, plastics and all, that's how they've implemented it using GPT-4. This is our typical architecture of RAG is. So there's something called as vector database. So for now I won't tell you in depth what it is because there's no time. So vector database is basically a special kind of database that holds your vector values, right? The vector values are very completely in numbers, right? That is stored in not in SQL database or no SQL database. It is stored in a separate database called as vector database, right? So that is a place where we store it. And then there are embeddings that go in. Embeddings are again, let's say I say hi, right? That hi won't go as hi. It will be converted into numbers, and then that will be an embedding, and that will go into the vector DB, right? And then there's the LLM which is there, and that's how it is being powered. This is the data preparation step. So raw data sources are here. Then I extract the information out of it, and then I do chunking. Basically, I break a document of 1 page into, let's say, into small documents of 2 lines or 3 lines. That's how I do chunking. And then embedding, and then I store it into database, and then my LLM I query there in that, and that is again converted into embedding. It matches in the database where is that relevant value there, and from there the relevant data is coming out. LLM summarizes it for me and gives it out. So this is how the architecture looks. This is again the same architecture on Azure. Yeah. So here I spoke about GPT, I spoke about LLMs and all the other things, right? So now what I'm doing, I'll be talking about co-pilots. So what is co-pilot? The one who flies the plane. My answer is the one who flies the plane, right? Correct? Co-pilot is that guy only, no? No? Not at all. What is co-pilot? Assistant. Okay. Co-pilot is basically your AI. This I'm talking here about AI co-pilot, right? So it helps you with your needs, whatever you need for your work. Let's say something related to music, something related to research, something related to something else, right? So that is something which this can do. Do you want to see a magic how it can do a new thing? Let's see. right? And everybody of you have co-pilots on your Windows machines, right? So I'll just see what can it do now. So this is the co-pilot, right, which is there for me, correct? So I'll just do this, and I have activated a plugin called as Suno. Okay, it's not yet activated. I've activated it now, right? This is a plugin called Suno. So I've done that, and now I just okay, what have I done? I've asked it to create a melodious song for me about a software developer, right? So what do you expect now? What will it do? What is your expectation? Till it generates, tell me what is your expectation from this question? Hmm? What is your expectation? What is going to come out? You guys have no expectations also. Melodious song. Let it generate. Okay. See, it has come up with something over there, right? Can you see it? Okay. Great. So it's come up with a stand, two chorus lines, right? Are they good enough? You want me to sing that? No, I'm not a good singer though, right? I don't even know what are the tunes. So there is something else that it does for me, right? Right. So let's see what is it gonna do. It's taking some time. That's of course it's doing okay. It is done, right? Let's see the code of my heart. My God. Right? That generated me a song. You can listen to that.
I'm a software developer. I'm one of a kind in the world of code. I found my escape, syntax, and fun.
Good enough? So this is what co-pilots can do for you, right? So I didn't do anything. All I did was I just prompted it to generate a song for me, right? And there you go, it is singing it for me, right? A fun fact: this year Satyanadella was in Bangalore. There was a panel discussion of a couple of speakers in that, right? It was a main event. So you know what they did? They did not arrange any DJ or anything. So instead they asked the co-pilot to generate a welcome song, and it welcomed the panelists with their designations, right? By singing. So that's how co-pilots have been changing the future here. It's a 1 minute song. Currently, that's the only thing it's supported. So it generates for you. You can also go home, try it out. Only thing you have to do is go to that plugin and activate Suno, SUNO plugin that is there. So these plugins are basically acting as agents. So I just told you a couple of while back, right? 3D models cannot be generated. So these plugins are a way. If you want to try it out, it might not. You can just give it a try. It's a field of research right now, right? So that's what co-pilots can do, and you just saw what is happening. So before that, I told you a couple of minutes back. So you can also do generative AI on open source LLMs, but nobody asked me how do you do it. That's okay. I'm only going to tell you how to do it, right? So you can do it on your local machines, right? So how to do it on your local machines? This your offline Gen AI. So we covered the Chat GPT that was there on online cloud-based everything. I'll show the demo towards the end because I don't want to keep switching between slides and that screen. So I'll show the demo at the end. But now I'm going to tell you how can you leverage generative AI in your PCs for free of cost. So basically, I'm giving an offer. You can have your research projects everything for free. You don't need to pay anyone anymore, right? And it can generate everything for you from your own machine. So there are open source LLMs. They are free available to you in a I can't call it a repository or anything. It's a website. It's called Hugging Face, right? Hugging Face, right? That's the website where you find it. They have hosted n number of models, SLMs, LLMs, embedding models, whatever you want. Everything's available for you in that, right? So, but to run it in your local machine, convert that as a server because see, cloud converts that into a server, and that's when the OpenAI is there, and you're having it as an API. Similarly, if you want to do it on your end, you also have to convert that model as a server, right? So to do that, you have 3 things over there that will help you out. Can anybody identify what are those 3 things? If you've ever, by mistakenly seen it somewhere. I'm pretty sure none of you have bothered to check about it. So by mistake, and somewhere I was going and somewhere I was scrolling, there was an ad which came up, right? Hmm. By mistake, and anybody has seen it. Not everything is on Microsoft. No, by chance. What did I see here? In that moment, if you've seen something. No? Okay. That purple thing with that dotted line, whatever you call it, right? That is called LM Studio. Okay? And that bottom thing that you see, a small black and white logo, that's called Olama. Right? And the other one that you can see, that's a recent release. Recent as in it was launched yesterday in the night at 8:30 by Microsoft. It's called AI Toolkit. It is available on your Visual Studio Code. I'll show that to you in a while, but to run that you will have to do some circus. But anyway, that's how you can get it done. So LM Studio is the one which was there from before. I'll show you how to work with that as well. Right? So remind me all this. Okay. Now, there's a very good question here. How can I use it for my college? Right? So, you are in college. How will you use all these things for your own purpose? Right? So, there is no point in me telling this is what it is, this is where it is, this is what all you can do. But at then not telling you how do you do it. Right? There's no point in that. So, how can you use it? It can be for your research topic, and you can learn more out of it. You can ask any specific needs. Right? So, the only thing here is you can make it your own co-pilot. Like let's say, what's your name? Abhishek. Okay, you can make it. Abhishek can make it as Abhishek's own co-pilot. So it will work like Abhishek's assistant and nobody else's assistant, right? So that's how you can make it work, and that's what you can do it for your college. So let's say Abhishek is in some engineering, second year or first year of his masters, right? So you can train that. You can tell the bot that this is where I am. This is what my condition is. Help me in this way. The bot learns and it helps him in the same way that it is supposed to. Right? So this is what it can do. Now again, I told you use it for this, use it for that. Now there are some, internet when it came, right? People loved it. Like people were enjoying internet. But there was a part of the civilization which did not like it. This is a part of society which did not like it. Nowadays, our parents belong to that society, right? They tell you are getting spoiled by watching reels and all, which is right. Because we are not using it judiciously, right? Once we start one reel, it goes to 10 reels, and that is a geometric progression from there on, right? It never ends till your battery says, please put me on charge. Till then, I keep on scrolling. Although my mobile gets heated, I'll still keep on scrolling, but then battery tells that, say if you don't charge me, I'm going to switch it off right away. And that's when you go put it on charge. Some people, they sit there and also scroll, right? That's how addicted we are. That's how even GPT is, right? So I'm pretty sure you have heard this statement many places that GPT or AI that is coming to the market is sucking our jobs, right? It is taking away all your jobs because you're making it your replacement. You're letting it to be your replacement. Devin AI, the one which was launched recently. I don't know how many of you have heard it. So you just have to tell it, give me an application, blah blah blah. It tells you how is it approaching a problem, how is it solving that problem, how is it generating, why is it generating. Everything is given to you, and then what you get is a complete project, like what a engineer does. But do you know there's a human intervention needed in that? Because even Devin AI, the company is hiring engineers. Why can't they do it with their own product? Have you ever given it a thought? See, they have a lot of openings right now. Right? Even if you go there, you can apply for a job. It says engineer roles are still open, software engineers. Why can't it use its own Devin AI? Any answer to this? I know many of us have been in this trouble. AI is gonna take away our jobs. AI is gonna. That's right. Partially, it is definitely there because if you are not being skilled to what AI has skilled itself, upskilled itself, AI is gonna take away his job for sure, no doubt. So, why do you think companies are still having 1% or 2% of that still humans are needed? Why is it? Nobody has answered. Why is it so? See, you can get scared and sit just by complaining, or either you can be aware and start what is needed, right? So we tried Mars, Moon, Mangalyaan, right? We tried it twice. We were successful in the second attempt. They could have told, no, it's not possible. ISRO could have done that, but they did not, right? They had that perseverance to try it again, and the whole country rejoiced. In fact, the whole world rejoiced that day, the moment that lander touched there, right? So that's how you can do. There are two options anyway. Which one do you want to choose? That's up to you. I'm also not one to tell you that. But tell me, why do you think companies still want humans? Come on, nobody has the answer. Is it that tricky question? Out of the box. You just saw Suno what it did, right? It did out of the box. It thought out of the box. It gave me a song. Does that mean I replace music directors in all the movies? Why? Accuracy is still there, right? The answer was pretty good. You like the song? Did you like the song? See, you guys only liked it. Huh? Okay, nobody is giving an answer. That's majorly because AI has bias. And AI is not still reliant, right? It can come up with anything. So yesterday, 2 days back, I was working on a code. I was trying to debug. I asked Gemini to debug it for me. It did debug, but it gave me 2 new errors. So then I thought I'll go back to my previous code. I'll work on it myself. In fact, my answers were better than what it gave, right? It was saying, I apologize for this. This is not what it should have been. This is how it should have been. But that's not how it works, right? I want the answers at my cost, right? So I had a chat with Gemini for around 10 plus minutes, right? 10 plus minutes. It was still not able to debug that one single line of code that where it was adding new things, it was subtracting new things. But then I was like, okay, let's leave it aside. I'll give it a try. Then I sat, I debugged, I did it within 5 minutes. So not every time AI is going to help you out. So that is why even companies know there's a human intervention needed. AI alone cannot do anything. So now this human intervention, when it is needed, they need a good human to do it. Not all, any number of humans, anybody cannot do it, right? That's why you have to upskill yourself to be that good human who will intervene with AI, right? Be that upskilled human. That's when it can do. So now coming to that, critical thinking partner, academic integrity, tech savvy. These are 3 things. Why should you use it judiciously? Don't make it your replacement, even in the college. Now, there's a complaint across the globe that GitHub Copilot came into picture, right? The moment it came into picture, every developer started using it. Everybody was like, my time is improving, my efficiency is great. Now they're not able to write their own code because they're completely relied on GitHub Copilot that it's giving them the whole code. Now they're finding it hard to go back to that olden days, where we used to go Stack Overflows, search thousands of pages, then you find out one answer. That thing is not there anymore, right? It is just a click. So what they've done, they've let it become their replacement. So don't make it and don't blindly accept the answers that come out of AI. At least once read that answer, whatever it is giving. Okay, I'll tell you a fun fact here. So one of my friends who was doing his master's, he was writing his research paper. Okay, he's from aeronautical engineering. What happened? One day he had there are 2 people who make a research paper, right? First author and then the owner or whatever you call it, right? So there were 2 of them, and there was a teacher who was guiding them. The teacher was not aware of all this, even now he's not aware. But these 2, they were doing it. So one guy was slightly busy, he's doing his internship somewhere else, and then he was like, I'll just help you in the literature review part. Do you know what is literature review? You know what is literature review, right? You go through the research papers, whatever are available in the market or in the internet, and then you read that, you see if it is relevant to yours, you just put it down there, right? What you understand, that's literature review. So he was doing literature review. Okay, this guy found out 5 papers, he sent him. He's like, these are the papers ready out there. So just kind of, give me a summary, a literature review. Go through them, give me a summary. This guy was very smart. Okay, there's something called as stable waves in electronics, right? So this guy didn't see anything. He just copy pasted the abstract and he pasted it on grammar. Okay. Now how these LLMs work is that they find synonyms to avoid what plagiarism, right? Plagiarism can be caught on your research paper. If it is more than a threshold value, a research paper is rejected. It is not being even published. So they wanted to publish it, so he did that. Now what happened? Wherever there were stable waves, it replaced it with happy waves, which makes no sense, right? It said some controller is having happy waves, right? What does happy waves mean there? It is having no sense, right? It's completely a nonsense that it did. So this is why you shouldn't blindly accept what comes from GPT, right? It can do happy waves, it can do drunkard waves. Imagine he did not send it blindly, okay? The other guy did it. Other guy did that mistake. He copy pasted, he sent it to him. He's like, take your literature views ready. He was adding it in the paper. This guy has a thing that he double checks everything again and again. So when he was checking, he was working till 4 o'clock. He's telling me the story. He's like, I saw that, and then I was like, maybe I was not having that sleep. I'm reading it wrong. He went, he had his cup of coffee, came back again, washing his hands. Again, he started reading. Again, it is the same thing. Then he saw he had not just had one happy waves, there are multiple happy waves in that one literature review. Imagine if he had given it for review blindly, what would have happened? This is why AI is there. It works over smart at times, right? I'll show you how can it over smart you. And also you have to keep up your academic integrity. Whenever you're working with all this, don't just blindly go with that and be tech savvy, explore all the features. So I'm pretty sure none of you knew what Copilot can do, right? So there are multiple more plugins in that. Go today, go back to your house, activate each plugin and see what it does, right? And these plugins, if you want, you can design on your phone. If you want to design one, you can reach out to me. I'll tell you how to do it, because if I cover it now, it'll take a long time, right? So that is the theoretical part. You're clear with what to do, what not to do, how to use, when to use, right? Okay, so now I'll just start with a couple of demos. Picture is beautiful, right? How's the picture? Rate the picture of 1 to 10. 8, 8, 7. How's the picture? Good. Okay. So what has it done there? Can somebody tell me? When I asked it to generate an image with a spaceship on a cow, it should have been told that it's not possible. There is no spaceship existing in the first place. Secondly, if I place it on a cow, the cow won't exist. The only spaceship will exist, right? But instead, what it did, it made the cow so big that it can accommodate a spaceship on top of it, right? That's something which we call. This is something which happened on Dolly, but this is how it is. So this is what we call as the classical case of hallucinations, right? So just like what we humans hallucinate at times, even the LLMs also hallucinate at times, because the only reason is they try to act over smart, right? They want to surpass your thinking. They want to show that, okay, see, we are here, we're over smart, so that's why we are hallucinating. So I'll just show you one hallucination case. Okay. Okay. Before that, I'll show you one more thing. So I told you you can also use the studios, right? You can use OpenAI Azure, but I never told you how to access it. So I'll show that to you. You can go to portal.azure.com. You can sign up with your student IDs. You can get some credits for free. You can start playing with it, right? And you can also request for Azure OpenAI credits, quota. So you'll get your Azure OpenAI for that. You can use it within that credits. Okay. So there is something called as a studio where if you want to try it, you can try it out. So this is how it looks, right? This is a studio where I can play with OpenAI. I can perform on my development tasks and everything. I'll just show there is build going on. So there are a couple of banners here. So here I go to chat, right? So chat is a section where it is very similar to chat.openai.com, right? I can select the model I want. I can deploy the model I want. I can straight away start chatting with the this thing, right? So I told you it can behave like Abhishek's assistant, right? So let me just try to make it a Shakespeare assistant now. So there is a here it says Shakespearean assistant. Okay. So this is a user prompt, and this is the assistant prompt that it is giving. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's say hi. So now technically it should tell me hi, correct? But look at what it is going to give me, right? It's still generating. This wasn't used from logs. I'm not sure if it's going to generate. Yeah. See? Can you read that? What it gave me? It says, greetings, fair interlocutor. How may I assist thee on this fine day? Right? Pray, what dost thou seek from this humble Shakespearean writing assistant? You know why did it do that? Because I told it to behave like a Shakespearean assistant, right? So that is why it is behaving in this pattern. So now let's say I don't want to do that. I'll just show you hallucination. So I'll go to default, right? I can choose that, and that is done. So now let's say I'm a teacher. I'm a social science teacher. Okay, I want to generate a lesson plan for some chapter. I'll just do which chapter. Okay, a war that has happened in 2075. Okay, I'm going to teach kids a war that has happened in 2075. Okay, I'm going to name it Maritime War. Okay, generate a lesson plan. Okay, I'm making sense, right? There's a war that happened in 2075. Yeah, it happened, right? No, it did not happen. But it says it happened. Now tell me, how did it do that? Right? See, technically it should have told me that no, there is no such war happening. But this smart fellow, he went ahead and he said, see, title Maritime War 2075 lesson plan, object to provide students with an understanding, blah blah blah, and the duration is 2 hours. Okay, you need 2 hours to learn about that war, and the materials are PowerPoint presentation videos. I don't know which video you can generate one for you, right? And procedure and all these things. Right, so it gave me a complete lesson plan. So this is a classical case of hallucinations. Right, this is how your LLMs can start hallucinating. So again, be very mindful when you are using it, right? Because it makes complete sense. According to that, it makes complete sense because it doesn't know what time, what day are we today, right? According to that, it is only have been trained in 2022. That's the end of its life. So whatever comes after that, it thinks that's the right thing. Okay, so that is the Azure AI Studio. Then there is something called as Google AI Studio. Google comes up with Gemma, and that's where you can see this. If you want to use this, you can go to aistudio.google.com. It's free to use, right? So you can choose that model what you want, Gemini 1.0, Gemini Flash, or whatever you want. You can just start typing with it. See, hi, and run. Right? It will tell you what time is it taking to generate and all these things. Let's say you're a tech savvy guy right now, right? You don't want to log into this portal every time. What will you do? Okay, question, a situation based question. You're not a tech savvy, you're a tech savvy guy. You do not want to log into this every time. So how will you do it? What? Say, no. I don't want you to open the browser at all. Now, okay. So can you see on the top there is something called as get code? Can you see there? There's get code right here on the top. Right. All you have to do is copy paste it in your VS Code, run it. It will run on a local. Right. Although it is getting the API from the cloud, it will run on a local. Right. So if you want to develop that, you can do that as well. You can get your API key from here. There is a get API key. Remember that this is free. The other one is paid, right? So you can choose whatever you want for your projects. Then this is about that studio. You can play around with that studio. It's completely free. If you want, you can develop. I just told you can get that code. You can do it. You can do it with anything. Do you remember I told you it's just an API call that you're doing? This is why I told you it's just an API call, right? So now there is okay. I'll show you two things. So this is a chatbot that I have developed here, right? See, if you see the same code I've taken, I've configured the API key. Let's configure it there itself. Yeah. So I have a chatbot with Gemini Pro. This is the one I've developed. This is a Python code using Streamlit. If you want to write it down, STREAMLIT. I use Streamlit here in Python. It is completely easy to use, interface software. So I just run this thing right now and see how does it look on the code editor, right? So give me a moment. Do you know how to activate a virtual environment? Guys, I'm asking a question. Do you know how to activate a virtual environment? Okay, so if I ask you guys to develop a website, how will you do it? Guys, I have a question again. If I ask you to develop a website for chatbot, what is your step? How would you do it? Let's say POC. I want to develop a POC for your college project. How will you do it? Gather the requirements. What tech stack will you use? All these days, you have used HTML, CSS. You have a Python backend. Okay, for your final year projects, let me ask, how many worked on machine learning project? For your BTech final year projects, you have worked on machine learning, right? What? BCA final year project, you have had a machine learning. You haven't worked on any project so far. You had no project submission. So what did you do? Paid somebody 15,000, you got the project ready. Huh? Visual Studio Code. Who gave me that answer? Who gave me that answer? 800 rupees you paid. Such a cheap project maker you have found. Anyway, so if you have ever tried it or if you have ever experienced it, you would have known the hardship between linking Python backend and the normal HTML CSS front end, right? So now what if I tell you that there is no much front end needed for you, you can do it in Python. See, a website is up and running for you in Python. I've used it in Python. So I'll just showcase what it does. So here it is, and it's asking me for the API key. So I'll paste my API key here, and it is ready. If I say hi, it says it's thinking, right? And then it will give me an answer. See that it says, "Hello, how can I help you? What is hippo, for example, right? Let's that general question. I don't know what is that. So it says hippopotamus is this. Look at the way. This is directly getting the answers from Gemini, right? So if you notice, I did not go to Google AI Studio. I did not do anything. I just wrote a couple of lines of code, and it is doing it for me. So this is what you are supposed to do out there in the industry. You will not be given AI Studio every time. You'll be given an API key. You should know what code to write, how to execute it, what is the type of code that you write. There's a lot of catches and tricks and tips in that, which I won't get in. But this is the end product that a simple end product for a POC that you can do. In fact, I saw this Streamlit being used in again Microsoft AI Tour this year. Satya Nadella just showcased that one of the startups used this, and that's what they funded, right? So even they use Streamlit, right? It's that free to use and it is very easy to use. So if you ever want to develop websites and if you don't know HTML, CSS, if you're a good Python dev, go ahead with Streamlit for a basic website. I don't know for production, but for a basic website, you can use Streamlit or Chainlit. There are a lot of other things like these, right? And I was telling you about LM Studio, right? So this is how it looks. So it can go here. I can go here. I've chosen the model that I'm using 5.2. If you see that it says 5.2, right? A free model to use, and I can just say reload, right? And it is reloading the model for me. Again, this is completely offline. The other thing that needs internet, this thing is completely offline. I'm not even using one single byte of internet here, right? It's completely free. So if I just say hi, it will again tell me hello, how may I assist you? What is hippo, right? I asked the same question, right? But I can disconnect the internet and it will still work the same because my computer is now a LLM server for me, right? It runs the LLM. I'm sorry, but I'm not familiar with the term hippo. Can you please provide more information? So I'll say hippopotamus, right? I'll just say hippopotamus C. Now it says hippo is a large, although the performance of LLMs is much better than SLMs, but nevertheless they serve the purpose, right? So this is how you can do. All you have to do is you have to go to lmstudio.ai. You can download it. Whoever want to use it, just go to lmstudio.ai online, download it on your machines, and just get started with the development, right? So I showed you there is a code, right? If you go here to AI Assistant, there is a code ready for you here. This is the code. Copy paste it on your terminal, right? In your VS Code, it is going to work the same way. So I showed you LLM. Okay, there's also RAM usage. You can see on the top, it currently uses 2.6 GB of my RAM, and CPU being used is 0%. So that's how it is functioning. So I will just showcase you one more thing. The final thing that is left here is that in the open source Hugging Face, right? So I'll just show you Hugging Face. Okay, this is Hugging Face for you, right? It's called huggingface.co. This is where you can save your money if you use Hugging Face for sure, right? Many of them are switching to this because this is completely free to use, right? Only they have to take care of their servers, and the data is completely private. It does not even leave your environment. At least in cloud, it goes to the cloud side, right? Here it is lying right within your environment. So that's how easy it is. So if you want to see models here, you can go here on the top. There are models, right? And go to models and you can browse them. Yeah, see, these are all the models that I just spoke. What you guys just classified a couple of minutes back. They're available here. Llama is there. Google Gamma. See, Meta Llama is right here, right? This is your Meta Llama model, which is ready. So apart from this, there's one thing left for you. That is your the Windows AI toolkit that I just told you, right? It was launched yesterday. So this is that toolkit. So if you go to extensions here and you see, this is that AI toolkit for VS Code. This is also free to use. This also converts, it's just like LM Studio, a substitute for LM Studio from Microsoft. It gives you Windows optimized model because you know Windows is of course owned by Microsoft. So they give you a better view here. So you can go through this. If you want to use it, it is right here. You can see it's creating a model for me, right? And here it says model playground, model fine tuning, whatever you want, you can get it done. It's loading the catalog, right? It depends on internet connection. So it loads the catalog for you and you can work right up in your VS Code just by making it as a server. So see, if there's something called a start server and stop server here. So I click on start server and you see here my server is started. And the endpoint is this localhost 1234 version 1. So that's what you have to put in your API keys, right? If you want to know the development of this, you can get in touch with me, of course. But I won't get into the depth of this. It's out of the scope of this webinar, right? See, it loaded the models for me. Mistral is here, Mistral AI, and you have 5.3 Mini. 5.3 is a recent launch, and the major reason why I'm focusing more on this open source here right now. See, because I'm pretty sure the ones on cloud are much easier to use, right? You can do it within no time. But the only thing is, these days, organizations or startups or whatever you call it, the whole ecosystem in the industry is having a bend towards the open source. Major reason is it is very freely available to modify. It's a lightweight model. You can have a RAG implemented on it very easily at a lower cost. If you see at the cost perspective, I believe open source here is the best way out there in the market, right? So that's why if you're getting trained on generative AI, see generative AI is opening a lot of roles, right? In fact, currently I'm working as a Gen AI developer. Right? It's been more than 1.5 years. I've just been focusing on Gen AI, not even on the traditional ML, right? I do it for my own thing, but in my thing, I'm a Gen AI developer. So it is opening up roles for you. So what you can do is you can train yourself, you can upskill yourself to this recent trend. If you don't want a job, that's great. You can work on a freelancing projects, right? You can get a lot of freelancing projects and you can earn in good amounts of money, right? So it is a fun to do thing, and what Gen AI did is it democratized. So everybody out there can do generative AI. It's not just you. You can go to your parents and say ChatGPT, but they'll be knowing what ChatGPT is. That's how this AI disrupted the market. The earlier AIs, deep learning, TensorFlow, you needed a line of code to be written, right? You needed that tensors to be trained. You need all that things to be done. But here it is free of cost. I mean, it's completely free of all that hardship that you go through. So that is why it's coming into the market. So you download and play with it. So with that, I would like to conclude this session. I hope you have enjoyed it. Right? If you have any doubts, you can again reach out to me. Right? I've given my handles over there. Thanks again. Thanks for being a good talk.